for me to call you and think of you as dad. Something happened to me, I reach out to you. It's an honor. It's an honor from me to you, but it's also an honor for me to be able to do that. I'm calling you because I trust you, and I don't really trust many people. Honor for me. The man that planted the seed that became this tree messed up with it, and as a result of it, right, I am not messed up. I'm learning I'm not messed up. There's nothing wrong with me. However, I am still seed. I'm still seed that was planted, right? And I choose the ground, therefore I speak to the mountain when I see it, and easily I switch over from ground to ground to ground to ground easily. By far on to a stony ground, I switched to a good ground. A couple of minutes ago, I felt like terribleness because I realized, oh Lord, I gotta check with you to make sure you told me to do this thing. God, I feel like I need to confess. God, again, I need to confess. God, I feel like I need to confess. I told you guys that God gave me clear instruction while I'm talking to you. That I'm who he is in my life and what he's trying to do. While I'm talking to you, I got a Filofax down with it. Whole Filofax about it. Do I know the plan? No. That's why I question when he tells me to do something. I don't question him. I question, is it him? I don't question him to see that, well, I don't know if I want to do this. God, what are you going to do about that? I don't question him about the plan. The only question I have is this of you. Is it you? Then I'm doing it. Is it? I'm done. Is it? I'm done. God comes to me and says, Jamie, I want you. Okay. And I start walking. I didn't tell you what to do. It don't matter. Tell me on the way. I'm already on the way there. It don't matter. I live in obedience. Jamie, I need you to okay. So stupid. Don't matter to me. Because it's another way for me to defeat the enemy. Slap him right in the face. She's being obedient, crunch. She tells us she's being obedient. She steps on my horn. That's the best. That's right. It's another way. Every time I honor God, every time I seek God, every time I talk to God, it's another way I honor God. And then everything I honor God, I bust a hole in the enemy's head. I like it. Hallelujah. But you gotta find your tree. Here's the thing. Abraham was sitting at the tree with them eating. They were eating. Sarah was inside the tent. And as a result of the fact that she never left the tent, it doesn't even say she opened up the flap and looked at him. She did nothing. She stayed inside the tent and cooked. She did not reach the elevation where she would come, because the queen knows the king intimately, doesn't he? Better than the princess knows the prince. Better than the princess knows another princess. The king knows the queen intimately. So Jesus, the Son of God, the King, gets to know Abraham, right? They get that intimacy in it, so you get that royalty in it, right? But the child is always a step down in intimacy, because the king will never get naked in front of his daughter, like my father did. The king will never get naked in front of his daughter, right? In front of a princess. So the princess stayed in a tent. She'll never meet her. It's the requirements to become a queen. God was there eating by the tree, and he wanted to show them. When God comes, he only wants to show you who he is. And you will never meet the requirements, never meet the stanchion, never meet the station. You will never meet the place where you become royalty like a queen with the king if you don't step outside the tent. He was at the tree. Because instead of Abraham being a tree, if you are a tree, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bring forth fruit. Any tree that brings forth fruit, God has to prune and cut back. That's intimacy. He's cutting things away from you. Intimacy. He touches you. He gets to know you, not, but as a tree. He touches you. He puts his hand on you. He lifts your fruit. He sees you. He inspects you, right? So Abraham sat by the tree with Jesus in it. Still got that intimacy level in talking, but Sarah never even came to the tree. Could it be that's why they forgot the meeting that was supposed to take place the next year? He said, by this time next year, when I come back to you, he said, by the time next year, when I come back to you, your wife will have a baby. He heard the good part. He heard his desire. He heard what he wanted. He heard what he wanted to hear. He heard, I will have my wife will have a child. He did not hear, I will come back here. Because the tree was there. The tree was there for the meeting. Jesus still came back there. I don't care what anybody said. God cannot lie. Jesus still came back there. It's just that, what are you missing for your meeting? next to the tree, at least. If you ain't gonna be the tree, like Psalm 1 verse 3 says, it had not happened yet. If you're not gonna be the tree, they can at least find you by tree. No. Why? Because he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. He got the baby, yeah, right? He got what he wanted. He got what he's asking God for. You want to know why God said, Abraham, go burn your son? Because Abraham was there for every meeting until Abraham got what he wanted. Once Abraham got what he wanted, I believe he forgot God. Forgot the God that gave it to him. At that time, he had to be tested. Because God has to know, when things happen, who are you going to call on? Are you going to call on Isaac or are you going to call on me? Are you going to call on the gift or the gift giver? Who are you going to call on? Joseph called on Pharaoh instead of God, right? Because he married him. He had to. Once you marry somebody, you are subject to them. Meaning, here's the thing. That's why I pick up Paul and drop Jesus, or pick up Paul to be between me and Jesus. Because here's the thing. Once you marry somebody, they stand as your governing authority. Therefore, they will stand in between you and God. And Pharaoh said it. He said, nobody is higher than you in this house but me, right? So if God is above Joseph and the Pharaoh is stuck in between, Joseph has to go through Pharaoh before he can even entreat God or entreat what God wanted him to do. If God told Joseph at that point, after he married the Pharaoh, go home and be with your family, Joseph would have had to ask the Pharaoh first before he could do it. And it's true, because when Nehemiah became the cupbearer and he's living in exile, testing the king's drink before he drank them, Nehemiah, when he wanted to go home and build the walls, he had to ask the king. He had an inclination from Holy Spirit that he was supposed to go home and build the walls, rebuild the walls. He had to ask the king, Cyrus I think his name was, before he could go. Even though God gave the order. Women, you have to ask your husband before you could do it. Even though God gave you the order. That's the beauty of it. The man is supposed to think backwards. He's practical. He's supposed to slow your happy tail down. Sit your happy ass in a seat down. You're going to have the vision. But he also has a vision. He just has it in reverse. He's there to slow your happy roll down. He's supposed to back you in what you do. But here's the thing. He's supposed to have practicality with it. I jump up the moment God tells me to do something. Jamie, go. Okay, I'll do it. But you don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. You told me to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. I'm put on my shoes. Tell me why I'm walking. They say get it going while you're walking, or get that get going while you're walking. They say something like that. I get the plan while I'm walking. God says, Jamie, I get the plan while I'm walking. That's because I don't have a king. Because if there was a king here, there'd be somebody to slow me down and say, yes, I confirm what God just said. Because I would have to go to them and tell them, listen, I feel like God's telling me to do this. And wait for him to come back with an answer. That's what submissive means. Yes, I feel like God is telling you to do that thing. Go in peace. But now I go in peace, go in pieces, give everybody a piece of my mind if they don't let me do it. Ready to fight everybody. Jesus told me to do this thing. Jesus tells you to do it, but didn't tell me to do it now. Then I want you to do this. I'm out of here. I want you to wash dishes, Jamie. I want you to wash them tomorrow. The edict wasn't even for now. He just reminded you to wash the dishes tomorrow. But you and your obedience and exuberance of obedience, and that's love, and God appreciates it, and he loves it. But you and your obedient exuberance or obedience, Jamie, you jump up the moment he says, Jamie, and you go. That's why you need a king. Because women prophesy forward, men prophesy backward. Yes, it's true. You have one of the two in your house. Generally, the submitting party, the party that must submit to another party, is the one that thinks full. And the one that's practical is the one that keeps the rain around them. Does it always happen like that? No. God has ways of doing things. I don't want to lock God into anything, but that's generally, that's the way God planned it for me. You must have a king. You must have a king. You must have a king. Joseph had a king. He called him Pharaoh. The moment he stopped praying to God, he said, Butcher, tell Pharaoh to get me out of here. 2 years later, nobody said anything. 2 years later, Pharaoh came to get Joseph. From that point forward, when we came to get him, oh God, that's why the Bible says, your wives and husbands will leave your parents' house and cleave to your husband. But the picture of submission is when the husband comes to get he comes to get you, he pursues you, comes to get you, and then he dates you, courts you, whatever, and then he puts the ring on your finger, and then he marries you.